What's up, my Sentient? It's the Central Man here. So this is gonna be a brand new series on this channel. Me basically reviewing this season of South Park, season 23. I was about to do it like 2 weeks ago, but had I had the situation of my dad, having a brain injury and sadly passing away. Kind of like put it on hold. Reviewing season 23 of South Park. So yeah, I kind of put that on hold. But anyway, I kind of starting it right now. I kind of gone behind on track of the two South Park episodes. Had the situation with my dad. I didn't have the time watching the two episodes of this season. So tonight, wherever parts of the world you're from, yeah, basically today I'm reviewing series 1 of the 23rd season of South Park, and then tomorrow will be reviewing episode 2. So episode 1. The name of this episode is called The Mexican Joker. This is basically based around, IC detention centers and the film Joker, the new Joker film. It's just been released in America late September, about nearly 2 weeks ago. For the UK fans, it was released last week. So, yeah, that is the basically around this episode. So in this format of this South Park season 23 episode reviews, I was about to do it in a correct order, but I change it. So I'm gonna review the A plot of this episode first, and then the B plot after. So plot A is basically Kyle was sent into a detention center, and then plot B is basically Randy battling, stopping people growing their own weed. It's basically fucking up his business. So anyway, let's start with plot A. So Cartman was basically gloating, not gloating. That's basically happy, but basically moping around. He was in Stan's new house, talking about you moved to Teggery Farm. His life is not doing that well lately, and Kyle is kind of basically ruining his life. He went to basically like a shop buying a Coke, and you Americans call it soda, and then he saw a Mexican couple getting arrested and basically sent to an IC detention center or camp, and then Carmen says, "Oh, I can make an anonymous tip," and then zooming into the Brovosky house. Basically, you had Ike was basically playing with his toy blocks. Kyle's basically, I don't know what Kyle's eating. I think it's just basically a bowl of cereal. And basically watching something on TV, and then Cartman calling Kyle, and he said, "Why do you call me a butthole or douchebag?" And then Kyle says, "You called it. You basically you were about to snap some girl's bra, and then you got to every time apologize to me for being a dick." And then Kyle said to Cartman, "Fuck you" on the phone. And then basically had the IC police kind of raided the Brovosky house, basically arresting all 4 members of the Brovosky family. Kyle, Ike, Sheila, and Gerald. And then they've been taken away from 4 different cars, and yeah, Ike was kind of hanging on to Sheila, and then Sheila says, "You're not taking the baby from me." And then at the time, meanwhile, you had Cartman was basically spying on Kyle. He was on his own house, looking through his binoculars, and Kyle says, "God damn it, Cartman!" And then basically, yeah, they got sent to the IC detention center. And then, at the IC detention center, you had 2 IC agents. One was speaking English, and one speaking Spanish to the Mexicans. And then you had the guards basically giving the Mexicans and Kyle tinfoil blankets. Tinfoil basically as blankets, and then you had they were doing a name call, and basically the Mexicans saying aquí, that's basically Spanish for here, and Kyle says here, and they think it's Brovosky's basically El Salvadorian, and it's basically Brovosky's Polish, and they find out the arrest basically a normal white person. And then, the IC agents agreed to, he said you're about to release Kyle from the IC detention center, but instead Kyle wants to release the Mexican people as well. And he also says if you're not if you see a superhero movie, because you said they're about to create a Mexican Joker that could really fear the IC members or agents. So like the image you're about to see, you had one of the members of the ICE basically doing like a puppet show. You had on his left hand, he had this female puppet, and then on his other hand, you had the Joker puppet. I don't know why it is. I think it is Cesar Ramon or Jack Nicholson Joker. It was kind of stupid. And then all of a sudden, Cartman was arrested as well. I don't know what the meaning Cartman got arrested for. I do not know. And Cartman was basically singing "It's Not the Hard Knock Life." He's basically singing a song from Annie. And then meanwhile, you had like one of the members, the IC members, basically trying to electrocute the Mexican. I'm guessing this is a reference to Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was a film in 2016 in the, it's in the DC extended universe. It said if it prevents them to having flashbacks, and you got the head of the IC agent said maybe this is the flashback, and then you had like every Mexican was sleeping. Carmen was basically still singing Annie. And and he kind of regret Kyle sending him in there. It says reminds him this is a Nazi concentration camp, basically reference of World War II. And then anyway, and afterwards, you had like Kyle and Cartman had a plan. Basically, they made using tin foil blankets made them as skull caps, and trying to convert the Mexicans into Judaism. And then you got the assistant says you got to release them, and then you got the head of the ICE agent shoot the other members of the ICE, police officers, guards. They were stupid as fuck in this episode. They keep saying this is a flashback. Fear about a Mexican Joker. It's just like, because all Kyle wants is just basically get not just him, all the Mexican people, the Mexican kids, get them out of the IC detention centers and get back to their parents. That's Kyle's plan all along. That's all Kyle wants. But the ICE members, they just don't really get the message. They think like Kyle says, if you keep trying to separate the Mexican kids and their parents, they're going to end up creating a Mexican Joker. So anyway, that was basically the end of plot A. Plot B. Yeah, plot B is basically Randy's business, the weed business was booming. Before that, the intro is different. It's not the usual South Park intro. It's basically Randy singing the South Park theme music, and then you had the members of the Marsh family and Towie. You had Randy, Stan, Sharon, and Shelly. Yeah, Randy's weed business is booming. He's being the tour guy, showing the people, the public around the farm. You had Towie in the laboratory testing the weed. And then you had Stan's checking the orders of the weed, and to find out that they are not selling enough weed. So Randy is basically going around, really went to the Starches, and like Steven Starch basically said like he's decided to grow his own weed, and Randy said, "Oh, hey, fuck you." And then Mr. Mackey came along and said, asking like Steven some weed seeds, and then like Randy kind of give both basically Steven Starch and Mr. Mackey the middle finger. Oh, fuck you, both of you. Sorry folks, it was kind of like running out of time. I mostly do my videos on iMovies, so next time it'll be like a 12-15 minute video. Anyway, let's get back into reviewing episode 1 of season 23 of South Park. So yeah, this will, the other part of the story is basically Randy's battling for people start growing their own marijuana. Anyway, you had like Stan and Randy appeared on like South Park Town Hall. You had Stan basically reading like his speech about stopping people growing their own marijuana, and meanwhile you had Randy basically like mimicking the crowd, like "Oh, trickery, poor babies," like Randy is basically the savior of this episode. Everything Randy does turns to gold. He's basically driving, still pissed off, and he said like, "Oh, fuck South Park," and then and Towie says, "Oh, fuck South Park. You cannot go around saying fuck South Park." And then you had two members of Madman come to Teggery Farm and said like they had the same problem as Randy. People are still growing their own weed. Both members of Madman and Randy totally agreed. And then you had both Randy and Towie kind of like falling out. You had Randy calling Towie a towel, like "You're a towel," and then Towie said, "You're the towel." And Towie left, and that's the last time we see Towie. He might show up in the rest of this season, who knows? But anyway, like Randy was basically kind of like, yeah, was walking around South Park, he looking at towels in a towel, looking at the window with towels, and you got the shopkeep saying, "If you're not buying towels, get out of here." And then you hearing people voices in your head like Stephen Starch, Jimbo, Mr. Mackey about "I want to grow my own weed, I want to grow my own weed." He appeared in the towel shop again. That shop kicked him out, and then he saw himself as a towel. Like it was basically a white towel with Randy's face, basically with just the mustache. He was kind of like losing his mind, and then the funny, kind of like a funny part. You had like some couple is about to pick. They kind of made their own, grown their own weed. Like the husband was about to cut the weed, and instead he got himself blown up. And then you got in every house's really it's an explosion in every people's house because there's basically and yet the news report says it was the Mexican Joker, but in reality it was Randy because his plan, he's basically killed every people who's growing their own weed. After that, Randy kind of like celebrating. He had a song from The Godfather played in the background. He was basically celebrating of his victory, basically killing people for growing their own marijuana. Sorry, I burped. And then he glowed at Sharon and said, "Come on, Sharon, call me a towel." And then Sharon says, "Fine, you're a towel. I'm the best towel, bitch." And that was the end. Um, you know. Anyway, this episode of the first season of the 23rd season of South Park, is it a bad season? A bad episode? Not really. Is it a good one? Not really. It's about like thumbs in the middle. First off, they changed the intro. They changed the intro. They did the marshes at Teggery Farm instead of their usual intro. And then at the end, they changed the intro, the end credits a bit. The singing, they had Randy's voice singing Teggery Farms, Teggery Farms. It's kind of something different. But anyway, the first episode was kind of like like the ICE agents were dumb as fuck. Because all this Kyle wants is go back home, and the Kyle, and these think about, they've got like kind of about Mexican Joker and flashbacks. They are so dumb as fuck. Yeah, Randy is just the savior of this episode. Without it, I think it'll be a very shitty episode. And I check on Wikipedia. The first episode of the 23rd season got really a 9.92, very close to 1 million. It wasn't like a bad episode, but yeah, it was So hope you enjoy it. Leave your thoughts, comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Century Man Network on YouTube. So yeah, we'll see you for episode 2 of the 23rd season of South Park. Yeah, the second episode's title will be called Banned in China.